And the funny one I thought was Chuck Knoblauch. Chuck Knoblauch, shockingly, in the 90s is like top 15 in wins above replacement for a position player. Nuts. That guy couldn't throw to first base, yet was there. I just remember Royals Chuck Knoblauch. That's my strong memories of him. All right, welcome into another edition of the Draft Show. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you are listening or watching to this. Sterling Holmes, Emma Lingan, Adam Weinrib. Going to go back a little bit here. We're going 90s, heading back to the 90s baseball. We're all going to pick a catcher, pick a first baseman, pick a second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman. We are going to have some fun in the 90s. I pick NSYNC, okay? I think I get all the NSYNC members. I think that's how this works. I will go first this time. Adam, you go second. Emma, you will go third, and you get that illustrious wraparound pick. I know it's very, very fancy. With my first pick in the 1990s Major League Baseball draft, I will select Mike Piazza. I've got to get my catcher out of the way early. I just think that's the smart move. I got to do it. The best hitting catcher of the 90s off the board. Give him to me. Adam, to you.
I have to do the same thing you did. Yes, I have a list of funky, weird catchers that I could have selected, but I'm taking Pudge Rodriguez off the board. There are two bona fide Hall of Famers here, but there are a lot of big names, and knowing Emma's fandom, I know that she's got some fun catchers in her personal history too. But Pudge, for me, to start off my rock-solid infield.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Again, sometimes you have to go positional value. I think catcher, there was a clear-cut 2, and then it drops down a little bit. And so for that reason, I feel like that was the smart move for us. But Emma, you get pick 3 and pick 4.
Okay, so since I get 3 and 4 and Adam read my mind on the catcher, I'll go with not a catcher for number 3. Let's say give me Cal Ripken for pick number 3. That's, speaks for itself, I think. And then I will take a catcher because now that Adam has read my mind, I am worried he is going to take this catcher. Jason Kendall at number 4.
Oh, I love Jason Kendall. One of my favorite stories about Jason Kendall is actually the time that he was supposed to. He wrote a book, and it was the time that he was supposed to have an off day. Well, I think the catcher who was going to catch for him was out sick or something like that. And he was told by his manager to take the day off. And he's like, I'm going to go out drinking. I'm just going to have my whole day off. You're not playing. So just get after it. I'm in a slump. Let's try and break out of this slump. Let's just do something different. Well, all of a sudden he had to show up it's a day game. Apparently he's still drunk. And he ended up going like 2 for 4, like 2 for 3 that day. And it broke him out of that slump. So I always thought that was a really fun story. So I love Jason Kendall. Oh, Royals legend, by the way, Jason Kendall.
I'm going to have to say that actually fits really well. Maybe she'll be mad at me for telling this story, but my mom could never remember Jason Kendall's name. And so she would always call him Kendall Jackson, like the wine. So I'm like, that kind of fits with the story you just told. So
that's perfect. Look at this. Yeah. She was actually right the whole time. Yeah. Adam, back to you. Pick number 2.
All right, well, now that all the catchers are done, just got to give a special shout out to Charles Johnson, Javi Lopez, St. Alomar Jr., Jorge Posada. You're never getting selected, but you still hold a place in my heart. Most of the 1990s, this man was at shortstop, eventually changed positions, but my shortstop is Alex Rodriguez.
God, you son of a gun.
Locking him in. Seattle Mariners, A-Rod, and Pudge Rodriguez are the first 2 foundational pieces of my roster.
Okay, so that's a great call, and you kind of have to look up to the 90s to see which guy played the majority of his 90s. Was any in the 80s? What was in the early 2000s? And he was still an absolute stud, obviously in the 90s, even as such a youngster. For me in the 90s, this was a little tough because this guy played, and I think maybe is majority known. Once it turned to the 2000s, long career, so it makes it a little hard. But I'm going to go Chipper Jones at third base. I'm going to go Chipper Jones at third base. That's my. I'll go Chipper. I was thinking of someone else who also was was just atrocious defensively, though. I feel like I couldn't do it. So I'll go Chipper at third. I now need first base, second base, and shortstop. At second base, there are some fun options, but I'm going to go with my personal favorite second baseman of that era. So I don't care if you think it's someone else. I'm going with it. Craig Biggio. I love Craig Biggio. The Killer Bees and Hughes. I love Craig Biggio. So I'm going with Craig. I don't care if you think it's someone else who I can't say the name because one of you is probably going to take him, but I love Craig. So give me Craig. Adam, to you.
Well, we're in the second base danger zone for sure. I need first, second, and third right now, but I've got a random collection of second basemen that I feel like I'm going to have fun with in my fifth round. So let's take our first baseman, and there's boom or bust here. I'm going with a member of the 500 home run club, the one that might get overlooked, but that might provide me the most production, and that's Jim Thome. So other options on the board for me, but I just have to go with the old big swinging country slugger.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that one a lot. It's a good call. Good call. I believe we go now to Emma for 2 in a row. Emma, who you rolling with?
Okay, so I got my shortstop and my catcher. Let's go first base. Mark McGwire. We go Mark McGwire. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, little tainted legacy, but whatever. He's still a legend. So I'm gonna go Mark McGwire at first. Now what do I need? Third base. Third base is a tough one. Let me think about this now. Maybe what about Wade Boggs? You go Wade Boggs?
Yeah, it's a great call.
My heart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go Wade Boggs.
It's a great call. There's one other obvious third baseman I feel like that's going to be left for Adam. I think he's going to go that route. All right, Adam, to you. Are you going that route or not?
I don't know. I got Jason Kendall a little bit there. I have a third baseman. I don't know if he's the obvious one that you're thinking, but there is nobody. Maybe all of Montreal wishes they had finished the 94 season, but this guy really wishes he had finished the 94 season. He might have hit 400. He might have been an earlier draft pick, but unfortunately that season doesn't go into the books that way. Matt Williams is my third baseman. Great Giant, great Cleveland third baseman for a time, eventually a Diamondback in the late 90s, 99 All-Star with the Diamondbacks at Fenway Park. Give me Matt Williams.
That's a really good underrated pick right there. I was actually going to say Edgar Martinez. Now that third base has been cleared out, I thought Edgar, I know he's more of a DH, right? But technically he was also third base. No one picked Edgar Martinez, but I think Matt Williams is actually the sneaky pick there, especially if we're taking defense into consideration here. All right, it goes to me for my final 2 picks. I do need first base and I do need shortstop. First base, this surprised me here. Just so you know, Craig Biggio in all of the 90s was 4th in wins above replacement as a heads up. But at first base, I wouldn't have thought this. Jeff Bagwell was number 1 first baseman with wins above replacements. I don't think I'm going to go with him because then I'm just feel like I'm picking too many Astros. So I am going to go with the guy who was 5th in wins above replacement in the 90s. That is Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas is who I'm going to go with. A's legend, obviously. I'm taking that version, not the White Sox. I want the A's version of Frank Thomas. I'm kidding, by the way. Give me Frank Thomas as my first baseman, the big hurt. And then at shortstop, I was deciding between 2 guys. Do I go defense first? Longevity? No, come on now. Give me Barry Larkin. Barry Larkin's going to be my shortstop.
Love that dude. Second base is all I have left. I got a laundry list of funny names here. I know some people might throw the challenge flag here and say this man's best years were in the 2000s, but the back half of the 90s was good to him. He found his forever home, and now he's landed in Cooperstown. Give me Jeff Kent to round out my team at second base. I'm taking the chance.
Let me see something. A lot of Astros, man. There were just so many Astros in that era. No, I'll give you that. He started to really pick it up in like 97.
Yeah, exactly. The joining of the Giants, the 99 season, Mets Jeff Kent, not terribly memorable, but a little better than you thought he was. And then late 90s Giants, Jeff Kent, much better.
And then he gets to the Astros at age 35 and 36, and OPS is like 880. And you're like, what the hell? How are you doing this? Well, it probably helps when you are surrounded by guys like Jeff Bagwell, Biggio, and maybe who else was back there at that time? Lance Berkman wouldn't have been.
Hidalgo,
Yeah, oh, yeah, Hidalgo, yeah. There were some dudes. There were some dudes. All right, Emma, wrap it up.
All right, I think I also need a second baseman. I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll couch this by saying that this man's best years were not in the 90s, but his career extended into the 90s. But I'm going to go with prime, which is possibly 80s, Lou Whitaker. I'm going to go Lou Whitaker. I think I figured that I was safe to leave this one till the end. I figured it probably wasn't going to get picked before me, but I mean, he's a World Series winner with the Tigers. He was an all-star. He was a Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger. And I think he's one of the more underrated infielders from that era. And like I said, I think his career ended, I want to say, in 95. So probably not, the prime years of him there, but I think as a second baseman, that's who I would go with.
I was going to say Cubs, Ryan Sandberg. I think it was also some in the 90s as well. You could have thrown. I thought the most surprising was Roberto Alomar. That was the guy I thought for sure. That's why I was deciding between Alomar and Craig Biggio, but I went Biggio. I liked him better. I looked at the WAR numbers, and he had the more wins above replacement. The funny one I thought was Chuck Knoblauch. Chuck Knoblauch, shockingly, in the 90s is like top 15 in wins above replacement for a position player. Nuts. That guy couldn't throw to first base, yet was there. I just remember Royals Chuck Knoblauch. That's my strong memories of him. Well, let us know in the chat who won. Was it Emma? Was it Adam? Was it myself? Who did we forget? Who would you have on your squad? Make sure you like and subscribe as well. Until next time, this is The Draft Show.